Welcome back.
To Dirty Words. New theme song.
Trademarked. I'm Marissa.
And I'm Alex. And maybe you forgot about us.
Yeah, 2025 was an experience.
I forgot about us. So Marissa, what is us?
This is Dirty Words, the pop political podcast that's all about the taboo, pop culture, breaking news, and everything in between. We're just here to chat about it. Sometimes it might be something that's really, really relevant and every news source is talking about it. And other times it might just be a niche topic that we want to talk about and we can't get off our minds. But it's 2026 and we're thinking, fuck it. If Joe Rogan can get on his podcast and say that the chicken pox were measles, I think we can put some microphones in our hands and chat about some things happening in the world.
And to add context to that, Joe Rogan is one of the biggest podcasters in the entire world. And he got on his platform, which is a very large audience. And he said when he was growing up that people got the measles all the time and they ended up being fine. So why do we need to be so concerned about the measles vaccine? Everything he said was incorrect. When he was growing up, the measles vaccine was very widespread and just well accepted and people got it. And he's thinking of the chickenpox, which there was also chickenpox vaccines that people were getting to limit the impact of the chickenpox. And there are people who got the chickenpox that ended up not being fine.
Also, the measles is very, very deadly.
So as we round the corner of a shit show of a year, we step into 2026 and we were like, well, we have microphones. Why don't we talk into them and say something that's a little bit more relevant and grounded in reality and facts and information?
Yeah. And filling in the gap of maybe forgetting about us. So we'll jog some people's memories or introduce you to us for the first time. We are sisters. And so we spend most of our days just...
What? We're sisters?
This is the first time I'm learning about this as well.
We're not just sisters. We're twins.
Oh, yuck. Yuck. Gross. just speaking at the same time. Being twins is neutral. Anyways, we realized we spend all day chatting with each other. And so we said, why don't we take some of those conversations and let other people join in? Because not everyone has that luxury. No. There's a lot of people who live alone. There's a lot of people who have roommates or partners or friends that don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
So chat with us.
And we came, and yes, this is happening at the turn of a year. And we came back too because Marissa's not exaggerating. When she says we spend all day talking to each other, Marissa has like 17 jobs.
4.
Some of them are remote. And I also work hybrid, but mainly remote. So we spend our days literally in space together. And like, if we see breaking news come through, or if we see something on social media, or if we watch like a really popular movie, we talk about it.
Yeah. And also both of our works, I don't know the grammar on that, has to do with social issues and larger structures, as well as just some pop culture things as well.
Yeah.
So it's like constantly coming up in our household.
And we'll be in space with other people. Like one of Marissa's in-person jobs, she'll be talking to people and like we'll realize other folks don't get this, like Marissa was saying. Or like we'll call our sibling, who is a beautiful human and we love dearly, and they live alone, and they'll be like, I've been losing my mind, and other people don't want to talk about this, or I haven't had the opportunity to talk about this, or like people think I'm talking about it too much.
Yeah.
And so we're here to ground in that.
Yeah.
And Marissa mentioned work, so I want to circle it to that. Some of you might be like, I love you all and I want to listen to you all the time. and if you do, thank you. I'm
so
blushing.
much. Wow.
But at the start of 2025, we were doing a pretty decent job of creating, and we had some plans about like what we wanted to talk about.
We had some things in the pipeline.
We
as
did.
They say.
There's some really poignant topics that we're going to talk about now because they're kind of timeless topics. And I will say, we know what happened in January.
Yeah. It snowed in some places. I was trying to come up with a quick joke and it didn't work. There was an inauguration
of a fascist.
Yeah, that's happening.
So that happens January, right?
Yeah.
And as Marissa mentioned, we both work in kind of like social, political advocacy fields. the executive orders for anyone else who's in nonprofits or in higher education or whatever, like
They're popping them out like smut books. They just won't stop.
no.
That was a good joke. that was a good one.
And so everything about my, like, I can't speak for MRSA, but about my work, like, we were frozen for like 3 months
Yeah.
about like, what can we do? What can we say? What does this look like?
Well, you thought you weren't even going to have a job.
No,
because you
and
have
I'm also
government
like
funding.
fighting with people internally. So I'm coming home and I'm like, I'm exhausted and I'm supposed to have energy to kind of like have this hobby, because Dirty Words is a hobby for us. It's,
Yeah.
this is just for fun. And I didn't.
Yeah.
And maybe this was needed, right?
Yeah.
Maybe to have a space for one person, or if there's 100,000 people, right?
Yeah.
For one person at least to feel like I feel heard and like grounded in what other people are saying.
I also think this applies to, we're talking specifically about us in a podcast and talking about things, but also if you were coming home with these feelings, or you were struggling
Yeah.
with the changes, just like having any hobby or keeping relationships, that's hard to do. And because like, even if you're close with people, it's hard to be like, I'm not okay, or this is
Yeah.
rough, because a lot of people say, quotes around, say they have the capacity for things, but they don't actually have the capacity to handle that. So then what are you left with?
I mean, I
if
can
you're
speak
struggling.
directly to what Marissa's saying, as she mentioned, I didn't know if I was going to have a job. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't until like the end of June when the grant that pays me actually came in that we were like, okay, I'm going to
You're
have a
it
job
might be working out for a
for
little
the
bit
next
longer.
12 months. And it was really kind of like day by day, like I'm going to keep doing this stuff and hope that it's okay.
That's probably trademarked. Sorry.
We're not getting copyrighted. If you're the two people listening to this, please don't copyright us.
I think that's how it works. So you didn't know till June.
Yeah, but when you're talking about like going to hang out with people and doing stuff with people, all I wanted to talk about was like
What's happening?
what was happening in my workplace, but also just like in the broader scale of the US about like we're being told we can't say these words now. I work in the field of gender-based violence and we were being told we couldn't say woman or gender, right?
Well-
like what does that mean? And I would be in space where I might have been interacting with friends and then it was like, oh, I think I'm talking about this too much. Or
Yeah.
when Marissa's saying people say they have the capacity, they were also wondering about their own
Yeah, they're
jobs.
struggling themselves.
So then the response might be like, oh, that sucks. And like, that's the end of the conversation. And I'm like,
You're like, no, I need to talk about it. Like,
I need to talk about it.
which
more.
that's
Like,
not
let's
to-
keep talking about it.
let's be clear. We're not saying that your relationships are therapy.
No.
We're talking about like things that you're passionate about or
Yes.
interested in, or things that are making big impacts on your life, like chatting about those. Yeah. And so like Alex said, January happened, and the first 100 days with like every executive order you can think of that didn't
Yeah.
make sense about like women and children that were, yeah.
And immigrants and citizenship status and words that could be said and not said. And
Yeah. And it just continued. It didn't stop, which is just infuriating. I don't know if anyone else feels this way. It just, 2025 was the year of the hypocrites. It was the
my
year
God.
of lying and hypocrisy. And it just, you can't argue that. You can't debate that when someone just flips their tune all of a sudden. That's not, there's no reason behind it. And so then it just makes you want to go hit your head against a wall.
Yeah.
We do not condone physical harm to yourself. We do not.
When I was a child,
not
I
do
used
that.
to do it.
Don't do it. But she means like as a 5-year-old, she would hit her head on things.
And guess what? It got me love and attention.
Okay, don't do that.
I didn't tell them to do it.
I know. I was just it's the Twitter brain. I was
But
giving it
when
extra
you're
warning.
reading the news and then you're having to go in to work and send your silly little emails or like people, which like I love the community and folks I have around
she loves
me.
silly little emails.
And like people are wonderful to be around. And there was just like times where I'm like, I my energy needs to be on something that feels more
Feels like the
productive or impactful or like acknowledging, even
Yeah.
like bearing witness to what's happening.
I don't know if it's the Truman Show, but it's that kind of thing where it's like we're all just like kind of playing along with this system.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like there's something bigger happening that we're not acknowledging.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like I'm going to go about my silly little day doing my silly little task.
Yeah.
And even like I said, and we said, this podcast is a hobby. Mm-hmm. And so like to sit down when it's like, I want to be putting my energy towards other things. I don't know, felt,
Or you just want to watch something silly on the TV and like not.
but it felt out of place at times because it was like, I don't think I can show up in a way that is educational or show up in a way that would be helpful,
Yeah.
and not just like
Angry.
a negative vortex of anger,
Yeah.
which is needed sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot happening. I think that's what's hard. I think a lot of people got into a mindset where they just didn't want to look at anything. Like we
Yeah.
had multiple family members, like extended family members, tell us that they just don't watch the news, that they just can't. And I was like, well, I also don't find that to be the solution. Like
No,
with what's
not at
happening in
all.
Palestine and Sudan and just across the globe and all these places.
Venezuela.
I mean, right now in 2026 in Venezuela, we can't just not understand what's happening, and there has to be a balance because you can't get lost in it as well.
Is this an Easter egg that we should do an anti-intellectualism episode?
Oh, maybe. That's a good idea.
Thank you.
She just came up with that right now, folks. But yeah, I think just thinking about how much was happening at once. And people were saying that. They were like, the Trump administration is trying to overwhelm you.
Yeah.
But then when you have that overwhelm happening for our US listeners, because we might be international, we don't know. When you have that overwhelm happening with large international events, like, or events outside the US that the US is directly a part of as well, it's where do you focus your energy? What do you contribute to? How do you learn what you need to learn? And it's just a lot. And then when, like with Palestine, for example, we're watching families just being slaughtered.
Yeah.
And then having American news turn around and say that they're getting terrorist. And you're
Yeah.
like, what? You're like, I'm watching children die. What do you mean?
And we are not saying any of this to be like, oh, woe is Alex and Marissa. Their lives were so hard.
They read the news.
Oh, they read the news. We're saying this to say 2025 felt like a fever dream. The violence and actions happening from the current administration are not necessarily like new things at the hands of the U.S. government, but the way that they're rolling them out and the way that it's happening, and maybe this is probably coming from a place of privilege for me to even say it this way, it's being done through different tactics that is almost like more
brazen.
jarring, to the system.
Yeah.
So just saying that, all like this whole point of this little 10-minute rant that we just had is about the fact that, like, if anyone else is sitting in January of 2026 and like, how is it? What happened? You're not alone in that.
Yeah. We had weird conversations about executive orders, about, I don't know why Republicans are obsessed with seeing children's genitals, but about weird conversations about children and sports and all of these things.
Yes.
We had people claiming to be the most devout Christians saying you should hunt down your neighbors. Like, it doesn't
all of these groups too.
It doesn't make sense. I started rating places going, we're getting the worst of the worst. And then people are like, you just got the person that was working at my daycare. What do you mean?
Well, and then we also have all of these people while all this is happening.
Oh, just to be clear, fuck ICE. I'm a little bit later than that kid that said it at midnight on
Yeah.
January 1st, but
Context for people who didn't see it, who are not chronically online like myself. There's someone who posted and said, like, I want to be the first person to say F ICE. And as soon as it turned midnight, he filmed himself and he was like, F you and your family and this, you're horrible people.
yeah,
So
it still stands. 4 days later, it still stands true. But I think it's a lot, right? Because it also became,
wait,
It
I
tur-
need to interject.
okay.
The hypocrisy.
Oh, okay.
So all of these people in positions of power are doing things that they're claiming is helping, but it's actually not helping.
They want to keep families together, but they're
Yeah.
literally sending people to countries they've never been to.
And we have the undercurrent of all of this is that, like, half of the administration right now built their political careers off of conspiracy theories
Yes.
and promoting things like the Epstein files. And then this group is in the White House and they're like, just kidding. It's not really real. Like, the president of the United States is a pedophile.
Yeah.
He is
Well, Donald Trump. Let's just in case someone watches this during a different administration.
Donald J. Trump is an assaulter
Yes.
and a pedophile and had relationships with Epstein. And like we have an entire administration that's also been hiding that. So it's like all of these different pieces. It's like every time I see an interview or read something, or I talk to people who are like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, or like, oh, they're just trying to distract us. We're not being distracted.
Yeah.
They're doing, like, this administration in 2025 and 2026, they're doing everything they said they were going to do.
Yes.
Like, we're not being distracted. And so, like, I think Marissa and I spent a lot of time, like, screaming in agreement with each other.
I was literally going outside and kicking rocks. Like we would go on walks and I would just like kick a rock that I walked past.
So, but we hit June and I realized like I have a job.
Yeah.
And then everyone's been being laid off places and Marissa's trying to find more jobs because she's not making enough money.
And then the ACA is like, just kidding. You're probably going to have to pay 3 times what you're paying for health insurance. So you were told you have a job. And then like right after that, those couple months later, it was like, oh, Marissa, your little bit of money is going to have to triple towards your health insurance.
So basically we were trying to be humans last year.
Yeah.
While also trying to like do what we can in the community that we live in and
stay
like
informed
support
and involved. It's hard, but it's important.
And this is our comeback. 2025 was I wanted to call this 2025 sucked. And Marissa said, what's a better word? 2025 was poo-poo.
We'll get a good audience with that title.
2025, it was literally just, it was a fever dream of a year. Like we hit like November and I was like, how is it what
is
happened
happening
here?
Yeah. I mean, millions lost healthcare. We watched, like I said, multiple places across the world get decimated. And then take out like political things that were happening. We also like had the California wildfires.
Yeah.
There was flooding across multiple states, like horrendous flooding across multiple states in the US. And so there's all these other things happening that are now being used as like political playing cards for this like twisted administration.
But then we also had really cool things like Mendami won.
Yeah.
Right. And like we saw cool political things and like there is good climate news about like what scientists are doing.
Moms for Liberty they got kicked out of a school board in Florida, I believe, and maybe another place. But there was like a lot of smaller elections like that where like
the
people are like, Republicans get out.
Well, and like the Oklahoma superintendent, despite like other people around him being conservative or Republican, he like lost his mind and they removed him and they were like, you're not serving the good of the people and like the students here.
Target CEO got fired.
Ayo.
Yeah.
Did that one thing happen this year? Or was that in 2024?
I don't even remember anymore. We're talking about Luigi. The years are blending together. That's what we mean. But like 2025 is a fever dream.
Yeah, it's a fever. It was like there's moments of like awesome fighting back or resistance or whatever you want to call it. And then like there's these really deep, dark moments. And so we're here.
It's also okay if you feel a little bit out of your mind.
Yeah.
Because I've like people will be like, how are you? And I'm like, well, personally, like I think I'm okay. And like I have
a bed, I'm feeding myself, my health is good.
Yeah, I'm making the money that I need to survive and like be okay and like buy some books on the side if I want to.
How can I say I'm good like when my neighbors are struggling? And
yeah. So it's like it's weird. And then like we see the 2025 wrapped, for lack of a better word, from everyone. And I've seen so many people post that this was the best year of their life. And I'm just like, it feels like we're living in different worlds. So
the dichotomy of how all of it and like the juxtaposition of how everything can exist at once is.
Yeah.
And I don't think social media helps that.
No, but I do believe I'm not someone that thinks that you can't have joy in the midst of the worst times in the world. And it's hard to find that balance because nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like nothing right now is balanced in any type of way. Maybe someone's listening going, therapy would help with that.
Girl, I tried.
Also, did you hear what I said about my health insurance? Do you think that's going to work out with my health insurance right now? I think this is an outlet for us, but hopefully maybe one person listening like is reminded that you're not alone. If you're like confused and lost and angry, but also happy at times.
Yeah.
Like we ran our second marathon this year.
Ayo.
And went to a national monument that we'd never seen before.
Ayo.
Like or not this year, 2025. It's 2026.
Whoa, get with it. Get with the times.
But yeah, it's weird to be like, there was these positive things happening while it also feels like everything's up in flames right now. And I think like it's also important what Alex said earlier, that some of this stuff isn't new, that maybe we're just seeing more like jarring
yeah.
applications of it. But these things were happening behind the scenes. That's like a big argument I've had with some people. And so it's, how do you find the space to like, how do you find space? How do you be, how be a person?
Be person how? Get ready for more of us in 2026. You're so welcome. And no, we will be doing it imperfectly. So even if you got to the end of this and you're like, I don't know if that made sense what they were saying, or maybe they didn't finish a certain sentence or whatever, that's okay.
Yeah.
We are not professional creators. We are not professional podcasters. And this is how we have conversations in our real life. And like, we want to bring other people into that. We're going to also try to keep all of these 30 minutes or under.
Try to keep them short.
Not taking up people's days or time. And if anyone is an OG, shout out to the one person listening who is.
Woo, you're amazing.
I love you.
Oh my God, don't. I can make a whole thing about Mel Robbins. Don't do that. Here's an example of imperfect. We had a whole plan to talk about how many executive orders there had been.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw that in now at the end to just remind you that like, you're not out of your mind. It was a wild year. There's been over 220 executive orders just this year, or just in 2025, excuse me.
Biden released under 200 in his entire 4 years.
Yes.
Trump
only did over 200 in his full term last time.
Well, the other times we've really seen like a wild amount has been around with like world wars, like World War I and II.
And the Great Depression.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. So you might be losing your mind a little bit, but
we're doing it together.
Yeah. But you're also doing it for a reason.
Yeah.
Like there's things happening.
Anyone who is familiar with this or has made it to the end of episodes before, we like to leave with some action steps.
Yeah.
So I am going to do a little plug and
I have
say
some too.
On the different platforms, like Instagram, we don't use Spotify personally, but like we'll probably post this there. So if you have one, we encourage you.
Spotify has a free like podcast creation tool.
We'll encourage you to get the one that you don't pay for, that you just listen to ads. Okay, but my action step is go on the different platforms, whatever you use, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Instagram. Look us up. Reach out if there's a certain thing that you want us to talk about. If you go to the Instagram page, like you can see that there's a couple hundred people there. So like we are really engaged and like comments and in the DMs. It's not like we are you. Like we're just we just happen to pick up a microphone. We're just people in our apartment. So I would encourage you to do that because like we want a community space and we want to talk to people.
Yeah.
And then my second step would be go on walks.
Yeah.
I have been reading about like body regulation and nervous system regulation, and because of the work that I do with different forms of trauma, like movement is so important, and as adults we move less and less. So like if you're ever feeling super stimulated, go on a walk or like whatever movement looks like to you, like let yourself do it for a little bit, even if it's like wiggling in your chair or sitting down and picking your legs up, or if it's sitting down and like moving your arms a little bit, or if it's just sitting and looking at a wall. Like do something to like move and or like stop thinking about what you're currently thinking
and
about.
try to keep your phone away or in your pocket. Like if you need your phone to go outside, like put it in a pocket and try to just go walk for 5 to 10 minutes. I'll do a third action step.
Everything comes in threes except for us.
Wow. Imagine if there was another one. That's too much.
That's too much.
I've pubbed this before, but go get a library card.
Oh my gosh, you all, she's paid by the library.
I'm with Big Library. You get,
her job is not with a library. She is not paid by the library.
Depending on where you live, you can get access to additional resources in your community, as well as you just get access to space. There's a lot of libraries now that give you access to more apps and stuff like that. One of my hobbies in 2025 has just been renting books and movies and things from the library, because the more I use it, the more that's going to be like, oh, someone's using the services. And I think I single-handedly single-handedly am helping the local library.
Also, we are firm believers in that short form content is not how we educate and
No.
not how we're going to shift society. And so some
It might
examples
light a light bulb for
might
you,
light a
or
light
like
bulb or
make
plant
you
a seed.
interested. Yeah, plant a seed. That's the,
Yeah.
the phrase I was looking
Some
for.
examples, though, I am someone who believes that history can teach us, and like
Yeah.
a lot of the things that people experience have been experienced before. Right now, I have a book called For Anti-Fascist Futures Against the Violence of Imperial Crisis. I also have a book about the Red Scare and like using things to limit access to media
Yeah.
and knowledge and stuff like that. So like we can get long form content to read.
It's also okay if you don't finish it. I have
Yeah.
a book called Pink Pill that I've read a chapter in and haven't finished. I had another book. It took me 4 months to finish, and it was like a 200-page book. So you can do it all. You can read a couple pages and decide you're not interested, or read a page a day and take time to finish something. Also look into art, look into fiction works. Like,
we'll talk about that in another.
yeah, I was gonna say
episode.
have been really into Ursula Le Guin.
Yeah.
All poignant, and most of it, if not all of it, is still super relevant today in 2026. Oh Lord.
So a quick wrap up of the action steps. 1, like, follow, subscribe, and love us everywhere. We also have a Discord. Like, we are actively trying to build a community, and we have a Discord that people can talk on. Just
Oh.
nobody's in it.
I totally forgot about that.
2,
Go on
go on walks or like do some breathing or resting moments. Like, do something to move your body and get away from the devices and screens in front of us to give our brains a chance to process the information that we're
Yeah.
getting.
And
3,
get yourself a little library card.
we love the library. We love public services.
Rent a book and tag us and tell us what book you rented.
And the tagline for this episode as we leave is "Fuck ICE 2026."
And Trump is a fascist and a pedophile.
Welcome to 2026.
Woo!